the man, the phenomenon, Mr. Philip Flory.
I need a special intro music. All right, we'll stick with our own. Hello and welcome to the Lockdown Live Friday show with me and Matt, with you and somebody else. Andy will be along. He's probably like, as we speak, setting it up. I know the feeling well because literally 20 minutes ago, I wasn't even in here. The studio wasn't even on. I was doing other things. So anyway, we are here with you for the next couple of hours to keep you all entertained. We trust you're all doing very well in there. Hello to everybody who's in the various chats. As I say, I'm literally somewhat on the back foot here, so excuse me whilst I catch up with everything. So yes, very, very good indeed. So today, to kick off with, we'll start straight away into it. The review of this kit is available right now, as you can see there. Okay, and I thought we could discuss it a little bit as well. So that's interesting because obviously it is, I suppose, a flagship from Italy, being their latest 1/32 scale kit, and obviously being a brand new tool and stuff like that. We can see exactly how they're coming on, not to mention 130, 140 quid kit. So we look at that. So anyway, I did the review of that this morning. I've literally just finished editing it. It's up, it's ready now. Clearly you won't all rush off and watch it. You can then join in with us and you can see it after the show. So that is up with you right now. And then also the next part of the MRAP, M part 6. So aren't you lucky? You had a part yesterday, you got a part today, which is a lot of photo etch bending and stuff like that, as you can see in the background as well. That is up with you today as well. And then obviously at the end of the show, amazingly, because we've just tested it literally seconds ago, we've got your reveal video for your great work from the gallery. Some of those you saw last night, but a lot of them you probably haven't, will be available for you at the end of the show.
Breathe, relax.
Thought I was having a heart attack about 10 minutes ago. Jesus, running around like a, yes. Anyway, Matt, how's things? How's things up at PM Stores? Is it raining?
It is raining, it's miserable, and yeah, I've been busy doing orders actually and sorting stuff out, paperwork today. Leslie's, my mother-in-law's here. So yes. Leslie's mum's here and she's sorted for all the invoices and getting them into some orders because I just chuck them in a little fire there. So she's come and done that for me. So yeah, it's been paperwork and just boxing and getting orders ready for dispatch. Just to mention orders and just to clear this up because I can't be bothered now because this morning I was proper going to go off on one, weren't I?
You were. You weren't a happy bunny at 9 o'clock.
I've had a sit down for 10 minutes just to let everybody know about the postal system and orders because I've been getting some emails and I know you have and whatever. It's just obviously with what's happening, the postal system's a bit all over the place and we predict it's only going to get worse because Christmas is coming up. We know from John the other day, he literally did this lot past 4, which is unheard of in John's world.
Yes, yeah.
So things are taking a hell of a lot longer than obviously anticipated to get to people. So once we post it, you've got your tracking number, and what it says is it's at the post office. Well, that's where it will stop until the post office tries to deliver it. It's not like the post office is a track system as it's gone to this hub and it's at that hub, and it don't work like that with the post office. It's literally, if it says it's at the post office, it will have gone. And it's in their system, and you won't get the tracking update until, like I say, they've tried to deliver it. And like I say, some of it's taking 7 days, to be honest. We've had some that's, some have got it in a couple of days as usual. Some are getting it in a lot longer. It depends where you are and how bad they're being it, I suppose, with lockdown and staffing and obviously the amount of posts that people are getting, or the post office have got to deal with. So just be patient. We're probably in a worse situation now with the post than we was in the first lockdown because obviously coming up to the time of year it is, people not being able to go out and shop, everybody's shopping online, it's just putting a massive strain on everybody at, delivery services, couriers. When I speak to them, when we get deliveries here, they are just random, So it's just sit back, relax, and really if you're urging for something, just be aware that you're probably not going to get it as fast as you, because like I say, we're not quite Amazon yet.
No, that's it. I think a lot of people, because I get it In fact, Matt, I think I had it before Matt was getting. I was getting a lot of flack over the first lockdown with stuff. And traditionally, you would say in a normal world, stuff takes around about 7 days to get to the US as an average. Sometimes it's quicker. Australia's about 7 days. The average now is about 2 weeks. So, and that's on a good one. But sometimes, and I've had one that got held up in Florida for 3 months. It was there in June. And it only got there very recently as well, after it sat literally in the sorting office in Florida. And it's like, well, it's just in cages and they just get forgotten about, or because of the sheer weight of stuff. So unfortunately, that's it. Because like everything, I think, COVID, if you've got staff off, especially in that environment, you're going to get backlog, and you're going to get buried in amongst it. And as we said before, with Christmas coming along, it's all just one of those things where you just have to be patient. It's going to get there, but it's going to take a while to get through. And I think, traditionally you get last days for postage and stuff like that. I think that's all going to go out the window,
Well, have to, aren't they?
Talking to John, like John was saying, he was saying the first time, isn't it, that he's actually almost had to go back and refill his van because he can't physically get it all into it. So, and I've got a friend of mine, he works for Parcel Force, and he did do that. He's now going back halfway to reload because he's got as much as he can get in his van, but can't get any more. So he has to do that, then go back to the depot and reload, which is unheard of. And he drives a, sort of 3.5 ton van, it's not a small thing, and can get around with it. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes it can be a bit slow, but just rest assured, from our point of view, we're shipping them out. Like, I tend to be doing all my posts at the moment, because of obviously Corona and all of that, on a Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. I'll be honest with you, because of today, it's been a chaos. And to be honest, I've had my mum round for lunch, which hasn't exactly helped. But it's one of those ones where I will do the orders tomorrow morning.
Sorry.
That's all right. There's probably Andy saying, I'm coming on. But yeah, so the orders are going out just as quick as we can. And as obviously things are busier, like when we had the Telford stuff, I was doing orders 7 days a week. It's just that traditionally I tend to do Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays just to cut down the travel, to be honest, and going out. But as I say, they do go out. They are going out in real time. Obviously, the big thing with me is the mugs. So the mugs are going to start shipping out just as soon as I've got them. Okay, so once they're in, I'll get them out and they'll start going out and making their way to you. So it's just be one of those things where bear with us. It's not us. We're doing our bit. It's just in the system. But all the time we're answering questions about where's my parcel, we're not getting on. So, that's obviously it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
I mean, from our point of view as well, when it's in the system, we cannot actually do anything from our side until it's 15 days after the due date. Working days as well. This is not just weekends. This is working days after it's been sent, after it's in their system.
Yeah.
So again, we've got, we're kind of like as in the dark as you, to be honest with you. We can't find anything else out there. You can have your sort of tracking numbers. So, I mean, obviously, if it goes through the couriers, it's a bit of a different, parcel force.
Live tracking.
Helps if it's bigger stuff. But obviously, just for the post office side of it, like I say, just going to have to be a bit patient. I know, like, we're not the only company who's copped it. I've seen a few others on Facebook who have put up, obviously, people saying about how long stuff's taking. It's just, like I say, it's just the perfect storm at the minute, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. But just rest assured, we are doing it from our bit. And me and Matt did discuss this when we were talking about it earlier. And we were saying that if anybody's really desperate for something, as long as you don't mind paying for it, we'll stick it on a next day courier. But it is going to cost. People moan about the prices of postage. If you're paying for something small and you want it on a courier, we can do it. Just email us and let us know and we'll do a price for you. But it will cost a lot more than the normal postal system. So.
Yeah. So anyway, we just wanted to get that out of the way, just to clear it all up and stuff. So
yes,
it's not a whinge from us. It's just obviously to put you in the picture and
absolutely,
just to say what's happening. To be honest, it was going to be a whinge if we'd have done this show this morning.
Yeah, I think if we'd done this show at 9 o'clock this morning, poor old Matt was pulling his hair out at this point. He was on a proper rant. So.
It is what it is, isn't it? So obviously people are paying and.
Well, I'm not being funny. Let's face it. We've been spoiled over many years of getting next day service. We deal with a couple of our suppliers, and they are literally next day service. You can order at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get it at 10 o'clock next morning, and that's what life you sort of get used to. And not being funny, Amazon, my other half can order stuff at 10 o'clock at night and get it next day.
Yeah.
And we all got a bit spoiled, and now obviously the world's gone a little bit belly up. It's things aren't as quick as we're used to, but rest assured, we're doing our bit anyway. That's the main thing.
Yeah, like I say, once you've got a tracking number and it comes through as a thing, then literally it's either going to the post office or be dropped off. Because I've like what you've been doing every other day you go.
Yeah.
I've been going like every day. I've been this morning and I've probably got my way home because I've got home more. So I was waiting for boxes actually. So they came this morning, so I managed to get everything boxed up. So
Right.
they'll probably be dropped off today, and I'm pretty much up to date to be honest with orders.
Right.
So,
Hold on a minute, Matt. Turn your lav mic on.
off.
On. You've still got your other mic on as well.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. He'll do it. They're saying Jesus is killing me with his echo. Hold on.
What to do? It's not that the lap mic's on.
Yeah, turn the other one off then, because you're still using the big mic. So it's
All
the
right.
webcam mic's on at the same time. So we had this yesterday. We just need to switch over.
My fault, that. Sorry. Right.
That's
Is
better.
that
Perfect.
Is that better?
That's definitely better.
But for a bit late on, I forgot to do that.
Sorry. To be honest, guys, it's my fault. I literally came down here at 2 minutes to, because I was doing editing and trying to get the review up and all the other things. So Matt did try and get hold of me at our past as we normally do. We do all the sound checks and everything beforehand, but it's just been one of them days today. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So there we go. Much better. Thank you. Sorry. Do apologise. There you go.
Technical glitch.
He's now all husky.
Yeah, again. I wish.
Sorry, we didn't have time to. Normally we do. I know it might sound like we just shove this together, but normally we do a sound check, video checks, and all the rest of it. But literally, Matt was waiting for me at 2 minutes to before I got in here and sat down and set everything up. So we didn't have the normal time to set it all up and do it. Anyway, never mind. At least you got this though. This is up. So as you can see, should we do the elephant out of the room? Let's have I won't subject you to the video because the video is actually a half-hour video. Well, I think actually it might be more like 38 minutes long. I'm not sure exactly how long it is, but I have done a full review in here. So anyway, I took some snapshots as I was filming, just to have a look in here, and we can talk about. This is Italari's latest and greatest kit. Okay, so you get a bit of photo. The decals, beautiful, really nice, good, solid colour. They don't look massively thick, but also you've seen that, Matt. Look, you get Danger Mouse.
Oh, well, that's it then, isn't it?
Sold, isn't it? So you do get the option for Danger Mouse as well. So I thought, there you go, that's us sold. Not by no reason, obviously. Photo etch, you do get a very nice bit of photo etch, as you can see down in here with the various things. Not tons of it. It's only the one sheet, and it's a little bit thicker than other companies, shall we say? But it is down in there. So you get that. Okay, so some of the parts, as you can see, it's very. The best way to describe it, very Revell Italari-esque. You know, they're quite similar in their ways as they go through. My one concern with this kit is these panel lines just look a little bit big. I know it's 32nd scale, so we're expecting bigger panel lines, but they are quite big and seem to be quite deep. And on other areas, they don't seem to be quite as deep. So we've got these on here like that. The other area that concerns me is the cockpit. For a kit that's costing, say, the full retail's 140, isn't it, Matt?
About something like that, yeah. I think so.
To have just a tub moulded in one just seemed to be a little bit, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more. And as you can see, all the parts very much Italari Revell-esque. They're all a little bit flashy, a little bit softly moulded. The plastic itself isn't bad, but it just seems a little bit softly moulded. Highlight, the old Hindenburg tanks are quite nice because they're raised. So these are recessed and raised details on these. So that's very nicely done, to be honest. I thought they were very nice. Really nice having the engines. So obviously you get fully detailed engines right the way through. But even like this here with the actual flame holder for the afterburner ring, it just seems quite, I don't know, I thought you might see it in photo etch or something else like that because it is traditionally a thin piece of metal and it's quite chunky and big. Obviously with the compressor blades as well, they're just simple molded. The parts are molded directly onto this, where I think it would have been nice if these were separate. So for painting purposes and that, you could easily do it. It's a little bit flashy on these ends. You can see they're quite gnarly. They're not very, clean and sort of sharp with it. So that was a little thing. The other thing that I was a little bit concerned about is these sink marks in the flaps. So these are you can feel them as well. In the review, I say that by the time you've painted over them, I think you'd be fine. But when you're weathering it, if you were dry brushing or using oils, you'd have to make sure you go in these, because they're in there. The drive, the actual screws here are actually quite nice, because I must admit I made a ball's ache on the Revell version when I was doing it. I cut them off by mistake. Highlights the tail. Tail's very nicely done. You do get photo etch for this area down in here. So these veins, they're on here, but also you get an option to put photo etch onto them as well. So, but I thought that was quite nice with the fin. Up in this corner, up in here, there is a strengthening plate, which is correct. There is slots in here, if people are wondering, for the RAF version. For the ILS system, that is in there. And again, the rudders are separate fit. You can see you've got the comb-ins for the tail planes. They are separately veined as well, so that's quite a nice touch. So they're in there. And again, general wing sections, very sort of Revell-esque. The way that they did theirs, this is very, very similar, shall we say, right the way through. And then obviously, you know, for the RAF version down here, you've got the bows and the sky shadow pods. They seem to be all right. But again, usual thing, like you can probably see down here, this sidewinder, this barring around it is huge. Like, why? So, and apparently it looks like a sidewinder X on it as well. So I don't know who carries that version. And again, you've got obviously the big fin will be in here, so that's not a problem, but they're sort of molded in directly down in here. Again, very Revell-esque how they've done that one. You know, right the way through. This is the underside. Again, looks quite nice. No problem with that. Very nicely detailed. The wheels, you do get the options. You don't have to use the rubber wheels. But again, that was like a low point. These, with the gloves back here, you can cut them with a knife. There's a groove on the other side. So if you did want to do it in flight and sweep the wings, you could get away with that. It will allow it. But the tyres, again, nothing you would write home about. They're quite softly rubbered ones. Full length intakes, which is quite nice, leads down to the first stage compressor blade, so nothing wrong with those at all, apart from they've got ejector pins in them, although they are a little bit further back. So it's not like they're right at the top. These are quite nice. So we've got the veining. I think I've got another shot of it here. Here we go. These are individual petals on these, so that's quite nice. We've got one of them, haven't we, Matt, up at the unit?
Yep, we have, yeah.
Quick, Matt, go and get it.
No.
Weighs a ton. But the thing is, we were talking about these. Do you remember these, Matt? I know you're not an aircraft guy, but these little gloves which go the little flaps underneath. I thought the GR4 didn't have them and they were welded shut.
No idea.
Don't know. But anyway,
we need Nathan, don't we?
We need Nathan. Where is Nathan? Nathan, stop working.
We need Nathan on.
So anyway, you can obviously, I'm thinking when you look at it, as you'll see in the review, I do talk about clearly this is set up for the ECR version because there's lots of those parts in the kit for it. And I'm not sure if the ECR version actually has these, because these are like extra flaps or slats that fit underneath the gloves. They go in there, but I'm pretty sure we've discussed this, that they got welded up on the GR4s. But as I said, I don't know if the ECR version has them, and that's why they've done it. But anyway, they are in there if you do want them. This is the intake. So what they've done is the top one's got an ejector port in it, but the bottom one hasn't. And then they put the others all the way back. So let's face it, you're not going to worry about it. And taking care of that one's quite straightforward. You could lose that one out of there. But it doesn't look too bad right the way through. Clear parts, have to say, beautiful, crystal clear, hardly any distortion. They're very thin, very nice, but they've missed the boat because this deck cord is raised. If that's recessed, you could just put a wash in that and it's a 2-second job. But the deck cord on the top there is actually, you know, raised detail. So you're going to have to sort of work something in there to put that on, dry brush it on, or, you know, the usual way, spray it and then scrape it each side and do it that way. The rest of the other clear parts, to be honest, they're all quite nice, no problem at all. And that is really it. It's, it's a kit of two halves, shall we say. But I must admit, I've come away from it thinking it's not tons different to the FX, to the Revell version. And is it, I don't know, how much is the Revell one? I'll let Andy's in. Hello, Andy. That was seamless, you dropping in there. People wouldn't have seen that. I didn't even see you in there either. I was looking at the other monitor. So yes, so that's my thing is that, you know, Andy, you've built the Revell one. Did you see much of that, or have you missed it?
I saw most of it, to be honest, yeah, and it looked very, very similar to the Revell one. the way it goes together and what have you. And,
Mm.
yeah, and I think you could probably have the same sort of problems with that one as you would have with the Revell one. But yeah, I think the Revell one's about 40 quid, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, you could pick it up for about 40 quid. I mean, it's more detailed, obviously, than the Revell one, so you've got to take that in consideration. But is it 140 quid's worth? That's what I'm saying.
Again, this is where you're into that thing, isn't it? You know, when you think about the price and the aftermarket, you could throw at the Revell one 40 quid's worth of aftermarket.
So the thing that we've decided just before Andy came on, that Phil's going to send it to Nathan.
Yeah.
And we'll get Nathan to have a look over it and see what his opinion is, because he's a bit more tornado aficionado than any of us are. So,
yes.
You know, and see what he thinks to it. So, and then we'll have a bit of a neutral view, shall we say.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think, you know, again, it's one of those where me and Matt, we had a quick discussion about this today about it. And like I said, it's 140 quid. I was expecting 140 quid kit. You know, I was expecting to have something that is perhaps the next step up, but I'm not seeing anything in that kit that I haven't seen Revell do or any other Italeri kit. I haven't seen anything that I'm thinking, you know, they've obviously now invested in this tooling or invested in this process. And I just was left, you know, my summing up at this at the end, I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but I have a nice little spill about this at the end of the review. And I did say I'm slightly disappointed. I was expecting, I think, for the money and the hype, that this was going to be something, perhaps a turning point of Revell. And we've seen it with other companies where all of a sudden they've released a kit and it's like night and day to their previous stuff. And I thought, really, but them charging premium, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
So I was left a little bit disappointed with this one. You know, again, if you want a GR4 straight out of the box, you're going to go with this kit. Because if you're going to try and do it to the older one, this has got a few little things, obviously with the engines and a few other areas on this one's are very, very nicely detailed. But we were saying it was 1996, wasn't it? The Revell one came out. So
yes,
technically, it's 24 years old.
Yeah. And to be fair, you know, I know we bash Revell, but for it's a decent price. You've built it, haven't you? I know, like Nathan's built one, Andy's built one. Have you ever built one, Phil?
Yeah.
I've never built one. It's not my thing, but it goes together. It looks like a tornado. So, I mean, at least you've got the choice to pay your money to take the choice. But like, Les has asked, what's the seats look like? They're like a couple of deck chairs, aren't they? Something?
A couple of deck chairs. Yeah, to be honest with you, it's like the seats, again, they're multi-part, they build up. And I think by the time you've painted and weathered them, you'll get away with it. But the harnesses come with these photo etch harnesses, which are on here. And it's not too thick, this stuff. It's a little bit thinner than we've seen in the past with them. But there's nothing nice about them. You probably want to go down an aftermarket route, I think. Because, again, if you've got this thing open, with the canopy open, you're looking at the seats and they're going to be a large point of it. And like I said, we just looking at it just then, the trouble you've got is that the cockpit itself is it's just molded in one tub almost. Add seats, put the things in there and away you go. I was expecting it to be more perhaps a plain tub, having panels to put down on the top and the various things into it. So, yeah. Strange.
Yeah, Tim, that's the 48th one, not the 32nd one. I don't think we've heard to stop the 32nd tornado.
No,
we've got the farewell one back in.
So there you go. There's your seats now.
Yeah.
So as you can see, you know, on there, that's how the seats sort of go together. They are multi-part builder, and they have got some nice touches, like, you know, I'm pointing at it right down in here. You got the environmental stuff goes to the outside, the various things in there, but you know, and there's a little bit of, you know, this stuff in here with photo etch to bend round and all the rest of it. I think if you went through it and you bent all this round and did it, I just think it might look a little bit flat, two-dimensional, because it's photo etch. I think it might be better to have something a little bit more organic, like a fabric type of seatbelt in there or something else. So
yeah, I don't know.
Again, it's very difficult because I think really what it was is that this kit, it's 140 quid. I was expecting 140 quid kit, you know? And I don't think, honestly, I've got 140 quid kit here. I think I've got like a, say, 100 quid kit even. You could say, okay, it's a lot of plastic. There's a lot going on here. It's new. It is more sharper detail. It has got some nice touches. But I don't think it's almost 150 quid's worth of niceness.
So you're a little bit disappointed then?
I am a little bit disappointed with it. But again, the
Well,
trouble
so
you've
what-
got is you put yourself on a pedestal with this thing, and it's like a brand new Tornado. And yeah, okay, I am British. I've got a soft spot for obviously all of our gear. And when you get the kit come out with it, you think, do you know what? It'll be a good one. And especially where obviously you can see where Italia is going with this. Obviously, the ECR version is in this kit anyway, but you think they'll probably do the Italian one as well, because they have got it all set where you don't have to have the chin pods and all the rest of it for the Italian one and all of those ones as well. So it's all there to do it. So you imagine over time they're going to do obviously German, you get the Italian, you could do the Saudi one out of it. You know, you've got all the users of it. But yeah.
You're into Tamiya prices though, aren't you, with that? And
Well, somebody's just put up for, for what Tamiya can do for that sort of money.
yeah,
It'd be light years ahead of that, innit?
Yes.
yeah.
But Tamiya's obviously a massive, we've said it as well, the size of, I don't know how big Italy is as a company, to be honest, but obviously the size of Tamiya, they can probably take a bit more of a hit price-wise, because they'll make it somewhere else, or, the price point, what they design it to, I don't know, that's all a bit...
The F16's around 140 quid mark, isn't it? So it's all like, same sort of price as a Tamiya F16. And
yeah, which would you rather do?
I was going to say, how much are the F4s, the Tamiya F4s at the moment? 30-second stuff.
about 120 quid.
I was going to say, I'm not being funny, if you look at the way that like the Tamiya F4 goes there, I've done the F4J, we completely went to town with it, mind you, and all the rest of it. But the level of detail on that is more than this, and that kit came out in the God knows what. That's quite an old kit now, So they're in that. That's the point. I think, when you're saying, you say you can have a Tamiya F16, which is a gorgeous kit. I've got it right there. And it's a fantastic, and it goes together with no problem at all. And you come away with it feeling quite impressed, especially because of the engine detail and all things like that in there. It is a really smart looking aircraft, where it's just that for the same money, you end up with something like this. If you're building them a side by side, you would never think this is 140 quid. You'd think, okay, it's probably an 80 quid kit. That looks like 140 quid kit.
Let's put this into perspective, right? I tell you what, this route, I've just had a bit of a thought here. This has gone down the route of the AMK Tomcat. It took that long to come out, as it did that Tomcat, the height, the expectation, and then obviously it's like, oh, it ain't as good as we'd hoped it were going to be. And I think this is where companies shoot themselves in the foot, because they do say, right, we're going to release this kit, and like say that is what, 4 years ago at least?
Yeah, got to be now. Yeah.
When they announced it, wasn't it? And now it's took till now to get, to come onto the market.
Yes.
And obviously MK did the same thing with their Tomcat, all the hype, all the, razzmatazz that went with that. And then that, I mean, that's not a bad kit, don't get me wrong, but the way they hyped it up, and like we've just said, if that had come out, if they did Gazump Tamiya releasing that would have made that company by 100%. They would have been, and the thing is, done it. HK models, they've done the same, haven't they, with the Lank?
Yeah.
Again, they get all these ideas of grandeur and like, let's, we're going to release this, but then you got to think for the customer, if it drags on and on and on and on, and then they're opening up for a kick in the whatchamacallits, really, aren't they? Because unless it is top draw, it's going to get ripped. They're going to rip it to pieces. So, I mean, I'd like to see, obviously, you've done your review, other people's thoughts on it as well. There's bound to be some more reviews.
Yeah, of course there will. And at the end of the day, it's like we've said, with all reviews, that's my opinion on it. Have a look at other people's, and you can draw your own conclusion from various people. It's just that, it was one of those ones where I was really eager to get my hands on one, and obviously we had a bit of a delay getting them in as well and everything else, so eventually we get it. So I sat down this morning, was like, right, let's go through it, having not seen it. The only thing I've actually seen is the ones that somebody put up on the forum where we had the billets from the injection molding, and then there was a couple of sprue shots and things like that, and actually they all look quite nice. And then as soon as I opened it, I was thinking, it's a Revell kit, because if you'd swapped over the contents, I wouldn't have been surprised. And but then again, I suppose little things like it's got ejector pins in wheel wells. Like, who does that in 2020? You know, it's got ejector pins in the speed brakes, only 2, and they are very shallow and they are tucked out the way. But like I say in the review, I'm being picky because at 140 quid, you don't think you would see stuff like that. So, you know, that's the thing to it. It's like, okay. But all of that said, final thought on this before we turn it into a slagging match of the kit. If you're after a Tornado and GR4 form and you love it, there's a lot you can do with this kit. Because as I said, you've got gorgeous engines. The engines will look absolutely fantastic. You get the dolly for the engine, so it's very similar to the Tamiya F16. Missed the boat a little bit. Would have been nice if you got extra nozzles and afterburner compressors, so you can make a fake engine and then have one out on a dolly, because there's no easy way to display it. You can't open the bays to display it open. Where the Phantom, you might remember when I did the build on that one, the 32nd one, I cut open the panels, opened the hinge, and then had the engine. Tornado don't work like that, so you can't really do it that way. So there's no way. The afterburner buckets on this, again, very, very nice. Great detail right the way through. They look absolutely fantastic. The wheel wells look actually quite good. They're quite sweet. They've got lots of detail in there. You've got the radar at the front, which is a bit mediocre, but it has got it. So there is lots of things going on in this kit, and there's lots of detail. And especially, I think, if you're going to go down for a powered down version, sat on the ground with the flaps and slats deployed, perhaps everything open if you wanted to and stuff like that. The aftermarket boys will be all over this because it is crying out for it. But then you're looking at 200-300 quid with all the aftermarket in there as well. So it's going to become a very expensive kit to do it too. So yeah, I think it's one of those ones where, is it better than the Revell one? Absolutely, because it's 24 years younger, But I just don't think it's 140 quid's worth of goodness, if that makes sense.
Again, the proof as well is the build, and Rick's just put a thing up here. He's building at the minute. He says he agrees with you, and it's not easy to put together either.
Well, as I say, you've probably, if you're watching on the screen, you'll see how the kit goes together now. My little final comment is, I would like to sit down with the instructions and work out a better build method to get it all together, because it's very modular. Obviously, you've got top, bottom, sides for the fuselage, and then you've got the front end goes onto it, then the intakes all around it. I think there must be a nicer way of getting that together, because at that point it looks like it's going to be an absolute nightmare to line up the nose onto the rest of the body. So, and that's what I say in the review, that it would be interesting to sit down and actually, I think if anybody's putting this kit together, it'd be worth spending a couple of hours to work out if there's a better way to get that front end on than just going to be plug it, because if it's out, it's going to be a mess. So, yeah. There you go. Open or closed. Sorted.
Do you know what? Ivan's on, afternoon Ivan, and he's a bit like me. But I think, you know what? I like older artillery kits. And I mean like older stuff. Like they're like from the 70s, because I think it actually goes together better than the newer stuff. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, like I built the Ju-52, the old Ju-86, I don't know, 72nd stuff, and some of the other stuff when I was a kid. I never remember any problems with it. But obviously the newer stuff, they get more complicated, but they're not quite there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, to be honest, if you think Tannery do a lot of other people, they did a lot of reboxing of Esky kits and pretty much everybody else. We were speaking about the other day, some of the reboxings they've done. Yeah. So there isn't a mass lot that's their own, but what there is normally pretty good. But at that point, they're quite cheap as well. You usually get Revell, Italeri. They're in the same sort of price area, so you're not expecting Tamiya. You're not expecting, beautiful engraved panel lining like you might find on Edard or anybody else. And I think that's really the problem, is that, suddenly 140 quid, which, like we say, it might cost that. I don't know what a kit costs these days. It may be the going price. And like I said in there, you get other companies clearly like Tamiya. I think they subsidise some of theirs through some of their other stuff like RC. Slot racing, as we know, is massive in Japan and stuff like that. I'm sure as a company, it's taking the weight somewhere, and things like that. So things that make really good money supporting perhaps lesser projects. So, but Italeri clearly as far as I know, they just make kits. That may be where they have to put their sort of finances and resources, and that's what it's costing them to get that back.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah, obviously they've got a price point. They've got a thing what they've got to deliver the kit out and sell it, and obviously how much it's cost to do the moulding and everything else. So yeah, absolutely. It's just again, I think how long it's taken to get onto the market. It's not exactly been rushed, has it?
No.
And that's where then surely they've got to do test molds. They've got to do, see if it does go together. Somebody's had to build the kit at some point, surely, see if it actually goes together. So the instructions, like you say, and it seems all them things just seem an afterthought to some companies. Do you know what I mean? The buildability or the sharpness of the moulding, or I know we are modelers, so it's a bit probably different. But surely, if we were designing a kit, right, we would look into the panel lines for a start, or its scale, right?
Yes.
Obviously, how we would do the instructions, how the best way to put this kit together in, designed in CAD. I mean, the best person to speak to is not here, but Pranjit.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah.
Pranjit we're on, which is probably, we'll have to drag him on again at some point, but if the people who are designing in CAD are not modelers, which luckily for Airfix Pranjit is, and I think some of the other team are as well, aren't they? That is obviously an advantage to just getting somebody who knows what to do on a computer and thinking, well, I think this will. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be some. What company is it? It is Revell, isn't it? Where one department don't even talk to the other department.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Well, how are you going to get a good product if you're not working as one team?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put it like I've just said. If the people who are, on the CAD aren't modelers, then it can impact the end product, can't it?
Yeah,
I don't know how Italy work. I've got no idea what their practices are, but it'd be nice to know.
Like the classic with this kit is that the nose wheel, you have to sandwich the pinning system for the nose wheel is also the bracing for the actual nose wheel bay. So consequently, you have to build it in place. So you have to have the nose wheel hanging out from day dot of your build, apparently, because it's number 2 in the build cycle. And it's like, God, I thought we'd gone past that, because I always just cut them off and put them in afterwards. But, it's like, again, I often look at, when it's that type of build, I often think that's clearly not a modeler who's designed that, because you wouldn't put the gear on as number 2 on your step list is add the gear. You're going to want to put that on last, because you're going to snap it off.
You might as well stick on the pitot tube.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, put all the antennas on before you have to try and put the two halves together. It's literally like that. So I often think as soon as they mention that, you can see it was never a modeler had anything to do with it. But yeah, I don't know. As I say, it's easy to go down the rabbit hole with these things and end up kicking them in and everything else. I assume. Yeah, sorry, number 4 is put the gear in. But I assume it's one of those things where when this is made up and someone does a nice job on it and takes the time for fitting it, it will look beautiful. It's going to look. And if you do put it next to the Revell one, I think it will be literally night and day. You will see all the little differences that actually make this kit far superior to the Revell one. It's just at the end of the day, is it £100 superior?
Just looking at the review running at the side, you can see that the thrust reverse buckets can be opened or closed.
Yeah,
and I know that the flaps can be done as well. I think if you position all those open or closed, it'd look fantastic against the Revell one. But if you had it all buttoned up, it'd just look like the Revell one, I think, wouldn't it?
Because that was the other thing I really thought, and I don't know why, but I thought they would probably have those lovely bays on the sides of the fuselage, because it's got the flat nose on it on the sides. You got all the electronics in there with all the circuit breakers. I assumed you might see the detail, so you could have them opened with them put on. Because if you go to air shows now, they always have them open, but they don't. It's all buttoned up. There's no access panels open anywhere on the kit or anything else, where if you look at other manufacturers, even in 48 scale, that's pretty the norm. They'll put them in. Let's face it, Hasegawa's been doing it for the last 40 years, into theirs. But there's nothing like that on the kit either. But you get a fully detailed engine, which you could show out of the aircraft, but there's no way of showing it out of the aircraft, if you know what I mean, because the panels aren't open to be able to, as if it's been removed and it's sat on the trolley. So if you did it, you're going to have just a plastic hull sat in your model. So it'd be nice if there's a little interior. You get the splitter bar down the back, which actually, funny enough, is this part here and an end, but that's it. But there's no internal details to show framework or anything else in there. So yeah, just weird, Strange.
Anyway, while we're on a bit of a rant here,
Yes.
bit off topic this. Why are they playing Christmas songs on the radio already?
Yeah, true.
I had to turn it off today. This morning, I was driving in and Shaking Stevens came on, and I was like, I don't think so. It's the 20th.
He was
of
in the
November.
car going like this.
I bloody weren't. And I didn't get out my fancy jumper either.
Darren in chat says he's putting his Christmas tree up.
Have a word with yourself, Darren. Just take yourself to another room and go and have a chat, because it's 20th of bloody November, mate. Wrong. It's wrong. Carry on.
Funny enough,
Don't like
I picked
Christmas.
up my other half from doing a night shift on Sunday night, and we were driving home, and obviously at night you can see all the houses, can't you? And the amount of them with Christmas trees up and all the rest of it. And we were coming driving back, and it was like, really? Seriously? Go and knock on their door? Stop it. But apparently, according to my mum, because it came up in conversation, she was saying that they're saying to do it so it gives everybody a feel-good thing after obviously the rubbish of this year with COVID and everything, to stick your tree out and your decks up early.
Is that what it is it?
Apparently. So,
Well,
yes.
it just makes me angry. So he's not working. If
The
it was down
Grinch
to me,
over there.
hey, if it was down to me, ours would go up Christmas Eve and be down Boxing Day.
Uncle Scrooge.
I hate it. I hate Christmas. I just do. I never liked it.
Andy's not allowed to go home until 5 o'clock, and he asks for one piece of coal when he's working, and he don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to having that conversation with them three ghosts. Might get a bit of sense out of them. Yeah, absolutely. I am.
Okay, Michael says, does anyone do a 148 scale Russian Su-34 fullback other than Kitty Hawk? Yes, trumpeter. It's trumpeter, isn't it? Yeah, Hobby Boss trumpeter, one of them.
What's that?
The fullback,
What scale?
48.
Yeah, Hobby Boss do one, and Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, you say apart from Kitty Hawk. And to be honest,
No.
I've reviewed both of them, and like I say, for an easy build, I would do the Hobby Boss one.
It's in stock, in it, John.
Hey, what? We got them in
Somebody's
stock,
asking
have
for
we?
some Model A Finners. It's in stock, in it. And a check. I'm sure it's in stock.
Gordon says, Phil, what happens to the kits you do reviews on? Do they get sold on cheap? Yes, they go to auction.
They go in the skip if
They-
it's
yeah,
crap.
they go in
And
the
that's where that
skip.
one's going. No, that one's going up to Nathan. isn't it?
I'll get
So,
this boxed up for Monday, and I'll send it up to Nath, and then Nath perhaps next week can give us a run through on what he thinks of it.
Yeah.
We'll do a special show. Nathan reviews.
Yeah, the SU-34 is in stock, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. We've got them in stock. Is it Hobby Boss?
Hobby Boss, yeah.
No, Model A Finners. Somebody's asking if we've got any Model A Finners.
Oh, I thought you took the SU.
And the SU-34, yeah. Sorry, we've got some. What is in stock?
Real quick look.
It's been a long week. I'm ready for a couple of days off, to be honest, this week. Anyway, how's your morning been at work, Andy? Been busy?
Airbrush cleaners are stock, but Thins is in stock.
Oh, right. There you go. Somebody's asking. Obviously not looking in the right bit.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, no, not really.
How
That's
was
good.
your health and safety meeting?
It was fantastic.
Did you discuss how you tripped over everything? This place is a nightmare to work.
Yes, suing.
No.
Does this mean Flory Models has an eBay page? No, Gordon. We do live auctions, which involve alcohol and some giggles. They're free to watch, but obviously only members can buy. So we do it as a little bit of a thing for the membership.
Yeah, a bit of a kickback for the
So
members.
it's a bit of a kickback for the membership and stuff like that. So the members it's a fun evening. We usually do it on a Sunday night, or last time I think it was Saturday, wasn't it? We did it because we did a special Halloween version where we all got dressed up. It's that bad.
We did. Yeah, we did, yeah.
Wait for the next one. We'll have Christmas songs and everything. Apart from Matt, who clearly would turn up like Scrooge.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we
Dennis
always
said,
have a bit of fun and have a bit of giggle, and we have a night doing the auctions, and we flog it all off cheap. So
Dennis says, Andy's that a mozzie beside you on the bed? Yeah, it's fair. I got it out yesterday for.
yes, we were discussing.
I don't quite know why I got it out. to be honest
Well,
with
we
you,
were
but,
discussing about Tamiya's fine range and are they any good? And we've
That was
all
it, yeah.
come to the conclusion we've all built one.
Yeah.
So
No,
Andy
John's
took the
back in
opportunity
stock.
to dust his off.
It's still there from yesterday. Because I was busy doing work for Matt last night and didn't get it moved.
See, I've got a lot more agreeers than naysayers.
What about your Christmas songs?
Yeah, no, but just about the old thing.
Oh, right, okay. There was one up here. As Tribune 43 says, "Hi chaps, wanted to say a big thanks to Matt for sorting out the order cock up so quickly. Much appreciated and great customer service. Also agree about the Christmas songs. They should be nuked from orbit."
Which order cock up was that?
Yeah, which one?
Ooh, okay, going down that road, are we?
What's the best way of doing deck core if it's not engraved? To be honest, the last time I did one, I sprayed it with a little bit of light grey XF19 because it's acrylic, the Tamiya one, with acrylic thinners, not lacquer thinners, and then I just used a cocktail stick, flattened it so it's like a chisel, and just scraped it all off the clear part. Turned out right, really. And you can just give it a rub with a cocktail stick as well. A cotton bud, dry, and just rub it, and it just scrapes off all the acrylic paint because it won't stick to the smoothness of the actual canopy, and just left the deck cord. It's not perfect, but it's all right. I prefer them when they're recessed. If they're recessed, you just give it paint and wipe it off, or like I use clay wash and use that.
It's a bit of a pain in the arse when they're doing raised, isn't it, really?
It seems that they all do them raised. I don't know why.
Obviously a moulding thing. It's obviously easier to mould it with them raised than recessed.
Yeah,
it must be a design thing, but like I say, it's a ball ache for people to pay. What's the ones where you get the decals for them, but the decals are so skinny and flimsy that they just
fall apart. Also, there's that other company as well does them in photo etch, but trying to get photo etch to mould to the shape of it. Oh Jesus! What was it? The last thing I did, and it was I think I did a Harrier, and it was in photo etch, and it's like, oh god, that took hours to get that to stick in.
Yeah, because what was the one you did? Because I think you cleared it, then you deckled it, and then you cleared it again because of carrier film.
Yeah, I tell you, that was the Hawk, the Red Arrows Hawker did. Yeah, the 32nd one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually 2-pack lacquered it in place in the end. Worked.
Oh yeah, obviously, and it was proper crystal clear, but it's a bit drastic for a deck cord. Isn't it
is. Yeah, it was a bit overkill for doing it, but whatever works.
Yeah. So you don't get that with tanks and armoured cars and figures. Talking of figures, Phil.
Neil was asking where you get boxes from, Matt, for packing.
My what? Sorry, my boxes. A company called Kite. They're only in Leeds, I think. Look what I picked up, Phil.
Oh, very nice.
So.
Hold on, let me do you on full screen. There we go.
It's obviously for the. There we go.
Yeah.
Look.
That'll be interesting. Trying to paint. Does the paint come like that? So
you just brush it on and it goes like that. It's like tartan paint.
Like tartan paint.
Well, what it is, it's just one big decal.
Oh, it's a deck paint one.
Yeah, one giant decal, and you just mould it to him like a suit.
God, that's going to send my eyes backwards.
Jesus, good
Spanish.
luck with that. Can we have a live one for that? Can we watch it live?
No. Hey, it's got the British Desert Disruptive Pattern DPM.
DPM, yeah.
Then Russian, US Russian digital camo, chocolate chip camo, China pixel camo, Spanish arid pixelated, and BDU pattern. There you go. There's a.
Which British one is it? The old brown or brown? Or...
Yeah, is that brown or just brown?
It's brown. Brown and brown.
Brown and brown with brown.
So. Actually, do you know what? I actually do like these. They dry really flat, for uniform colours. They don't tend to, because sometimes Vallejo's can kind of gloss up on you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I do actually find these AK ones are okay, but we'll give them a whirl and see what happens.
Shamir says, "Hi guys, I'm planning on buying and building the dual combo Spitfire, that older graph, whatever it is. How do you pronounce it?
He's reading.
You know the 30, the 48 scale dual combo 109s. What's it called? How do you pronounce it?
Sorry, what was that?
Can't get the start, can you?
I was reading something. What did you say?
The Edard 48 scale dual combo 109 set. What's it called? The graph, whatever it is. Then.
The Wild Sow. Is that it?
No, that one. I've got it here. I just can't pronounce it.
Oh, the new one.
My German's not that good. That one.
Oh, the Eagle Day. Eagle Day, that translates as,
Right,
apparently.
there you go. That's it. Eagle Day. Phew, got there eventually. Combo and Spitfire story for a buddy of mine, but I'm a little skeptic. The new decals. To be honest, we spoke about them out left again yesterday, and obviously I've had a nightmare with them as well. But like we say, just a small recap. Take your time, plan the build, and let them fully cure. But also, it's all about the surface they're going onto. If it's a good surface going onto, you really shouldn't have a problem. Okay, but you can use them as a normal decal, just as it would, and then afterwards, once they're down and you're happy, try and gently peel it off. Okay, with a little bit of enamel thinners, I reckon, just to soften it, to help them off, and you should be all right. But just be very gentle with them and careful. It is worth it, because we had pictures of them on yesterday, and they looked absolutely fantastic. When they're done right, they look really good.
It's Eagle Attack, by the way, not Eagle Day. That's the 110s are at. So, you know,
Oh, right,
I didn't do German, I did French at school. So
He's crap at that as well, to be honest.
And I don't know how to have a clue. What about just saying my name, I think.
Have also seen a vid that said Tamiya airbrush cleaner is the same chemical makeup as extra thin. Christ, I hope not. Can you imagine what that would do? If you ever put extra thin through your airbrush, trust me, it will strip the crap out of everything. Never put it near a decal.
Yeah, we had that. They said something about that it's extra thin. Because that's just acetone then, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't think it can be, because it would be lethal. Because if you ever put extra thin on paintwork, you'll see what it will do. It will eat through it instantly. It's strong stuff.
It's not going to do your seals any good, is it?
No. No.
Teflon or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Your airbrush would just swell up and die. So I would be very careful on that one. With the information you now have, would you use them differently? Oh, we're on about the decals with Shamir still. Again, now I know, like we're saying, I would just make sure the surface is as good as I can get it. I'd put the decal down. I would put a coat of setting solution, making sure it's all down fine. Probably leave it a good 24 hours to properly bed in. And then personally, I think I would just give it a very light rub with a cotton bud or a Q-tip with a little bit of enamel thinners, and not just a cheap rough one, something like Tamiya X20A or like low odor thinners, something that's a little bit mild, and just gently rub at it. Because where I did do it on the Hellcat, and it worked really, really well. So like the walkways, they were perfect because the carrier film just came straight off, no problem. The wing ones, absolutely no problem. It's only anything where it had an edge, it didn't like it too much, but that's because I just didn't know at the time. So yes, you'd be fine. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Is there ever a place for weathering canopies on World War II aircraft? If so, how would you approach doing it? Well, weathering canopies generally, I always weather my entire model as a whole. So I always go with weathering washes, and if I'm doing pigments and that, go over everything. Clear parts as well, and then they're all wiped clean as if it had been cleaned up. So you'll always get, like this guy's still here from yesterday, there will still be wash probably right round edges and on seams and everything on there, purely because if you don't do it all as one, then it'll look odd, because it'll look like a replacement part after the model. So I tend to weather everything all in one, especially on vehicles. Like when we do the MRAP, when that comes along, we'll be going in there and doing the windscreens and hopefully giving it wiper marks and all stuff like that. So that'll be weathered as well. Right, stop him, because he doesn't know what he's on about on that side.
Easy Riders asking if we know if the HE111 32nd by Revell is out of production.
The big one?
The one I did.
Oh, God, that's been out for ages. They fetch silly money on certain websites. So
they did change model, didn't they, for a while, from the P to something else? And
yeah, they did the one with the torpedo, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the 86 version, but that was really short-lived, and that's quite a sought-after kit. And Darren's put in our chat, will we be stuck in the new Hong Kong models 148B17F? Because it has been thingied, it's up on our chat, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yes. Yeah. We talked about it the other day, weren't we?
We'll put another pre-order up, won't we, Andy?
Yeah. I'll add it to the list.
Add it to his list, the pre-order.
Could have a wall of them.
Phil can build another one now.
I can have another one going, like a wall going across of them all now.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought we will have that in. To be honest, I think that'll be a good seller. To be honest.
I agree. It's a bit disappointing that another kit's got Memphis Belle. Deckable. I mean,
I know, but there's going to be loads for it, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're obviously going to go for the most famous one ever, aren't they? Because that's what they do. So just ignore that bit of it. And, you know, the aftermarket kits world, there are loads of decals for the old Revell one, don't they?
Yeah.
So, for what it is, yeah, just change it. At least you can do one in sort of olive drab and neutral grey, can't you?
Yeah.
Rather than all over silver.
Yeah, at least you can paint them up and weather it and do all the things to those, rather than that one which is just all metal.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever looked at the new Tool Dragon MiG-15 in 148? Didn't know they'd done one.
Dragon. Dragon Bronco are doing one in 48 for new one. I think Dragon did one.
Oh, right.
The 72nd one they did was... Did they do a 72nd one? I thought that was somebody else's kit, a Reebok for somebody else's. I don't know. I thought Trumpy to do one. Tamiya did a 48th one. Trumpy to do one. And then obviously Bronco are bringing one out.
Oh, he's got Dragon and Bronco mixed up. His Bronco.
Oh, the Bronco one. Yeah, it's out in January. We had a bit of a notice through from a supplier saying it's possibly doing January. So I think we'll stock that. Looks all right.
What's everyone's opinion of the new Zvezda C130H?
Well, it's better than anything on the market. Better than the old Italeri, Airfix, Esca.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like, I've done the review of it. Like I was saying, it's one of those ones where I think... It sounds... I'm on a roll today. I was expecting more. It just seemed a little bit plain. Unintended. I have heard now by an aficionado on this that it's got the wrong wings on it anyway. It's got the wrong type of midsection on the box wings. Apparently they've used the wrong one for the kit. But I wouldn't know. It looks like a Herc to me. But apparently if you are in the know, the wings are wrong on it. Apparently it's got the wrong type. But,
is that for a J, is it?
I don't know, but apparently it's not the one for an H anyway. It's got a different section on it or something. But that's only because somebody who works on them every day pointed it out. But as I say, I'm not too up on them. To me, it looked absolutely fine. I didn't spot it.
But we've all talked about it off, amongst ourselves, haven't we? That the rear ends got lots of rivets strengthening for the where the doors are and everything. That's all missing off the kit, and it'd just be nice if it was.
Yeah, it had it all on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, did we figure out that one had been repaired?
That had been that had extra on it.
We think it had been re-strengthened up in the rear part, wasn't it? We found that actually it was a really nice one. It was heavily weathered and covered in rivets.
Swedish one, wasn't it? The Swedish one, was it?
Yeah, it was Swedish, wasn't it? Yeah. But they still do have it on the back end.
Yeah, they still do have a bit more strengthening, I think, than they've done it, haven't they? But Dennis says, Phil, I've been watching some of your videos and I've noticed that you do not wear gloves yet. Your hands are always clean. What is your secret? I build a model and my hands look like the camo I've painted it. I like to keep my hands clean. Very clean.
Very washing up liquid.
That's, yeah, basically it is. To be honest, I tell you what it was. Many years ago, I was watching a review of a guy and he had nicotine between his finger stains and he had the filthiest nails you've ever seen. And do you know what? It's one of those things that sinks in your head. And I sort of looked at my nails one day and I thought, they're not very clean either. And now I've got this OCD thing going on. So before I film, I scrub my nails, clean my hands and do it all. So when I'm pointing at things, and I am that bad with it. I did a review the other day and obviously I had some paint under my nail. So I reshot it because it looked horrible. God. And I'm like, God, I am to that stage. Clearly I've been doing this far too long, but I just don't think it looks nice. I've got a friend of mine who does a bit of this as well, and he's got horrible nails, and he always wears gloves, black gloves, because he says, my hands look awful. So there's no way I'm showing his fossilized nails and all the rest of it. So he deliberately wears gloves. So when he's filming and stuff, you can't see what his hands look like. Because we were joking about anybody who wears gloves online has probably got really rank hands then.
I think the worst ones are, the ones you just wear, the ones on the ends of the fingers.
Yeah.
Because they're like watchmakers and stuff. Are they the ones who wear where they just sort of cover the
Yeah.
ends of your fingers. They just look weird and uncomfortable, to be honest.
But no, I think it's more of an OCD thing on mine. It's I have this little ritual before I start. It's like clean the nails and do it all. And to be honest, before I did this, I used to chew my nails all the time. I don't think I ever cut my nails in my life. And then you look at them on camera and you're like, that looks rank. So now I don't even chew my nails anymore. Sad days.
I used to have a dentist who had nicotine-stained nails and mucky.
Oh God, can you imagine that? Oh, and he's got his hands in your mouth.
She.
Oh God. What, hairy armpits and everything.
She had a. I always thought she was from an accent, and it's all like yeah. I can't say on there.
You can't say that.
No, we're not. This isn't the 9 o'clock show. We're daytime. Yeah, apparently, Sean's saying down here, she Bronco have released a MiG-15 48 scale. Has anyone had a look at it? I haven't seen it yet.
No, because there was speculation it was a rebox of the Trumpy kit, but it's not. It's their own. So it'd be nice to see it. To be honest, it's about time we had a decent one, isn't it? Because the Tamiya one, you can't get anymore. So we can't even order that in. I don't think on a special from Japan. The old Tamiya MiG-15. I don't know quite why. They said the clear edition and the normal, didn't they? At one point.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a silver one as well?
Yes, they might have done, Andy.
Silver one,
Yes,
sure
the
they
plated one.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't know.
Sean says, is there a company that makes models of famous racehorses?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Royal
Pedigree.
Dalton did for a while, didn't
Pedigree Chum do.
they? Is that where Shergar ended up?
No.
No. To be honest, I have a thing here. My parents were my mum was into horses because I might have had a horse when I was young, but I don't know. Because my other half takes the piss big time on it. But yes, Royal Dalton do a beautiful collection because for my Christmas present for my mum, she used to get one every year. It was like the easiest present to get her, a figurine of the horse because she used to collect them all. So it's my stable go-to, literally, for Christmas. What's she getting? The same she gets every year. Another horse.
Has she still got them?
Yeah, she has. If you go to her house, she's got them all on the side. Yeah.
Just think that's your inheritance.
Yeah, great. Where are we? Hand space model. That's it, Neil. You've got it.
Sean used to work at the tracks at Newton Abbott.
Did he?
I've been to the
Newton Abbott's famous
Premier.
for these days. The race course.
I stopped at the Premier in Newton Abbott.
That's it.
Race course.
I've been to the dog track.
Yes, we've all had breakfast in there many a time. Yeah, what I was saying about? Oh, yeah. Is leaving super glue in the fridge an urban myth?
Yeah. Don't know, to be honest.
I always maintain super glue is one of those things. As soon as you open it, it loses its bite. Because you do that thing that you open it, that first time you use it, you stick everything instantly and you're like, Jesus God. And then you get older and older. And I must admit, I've got this lovely one round here, this mitre one, which I've had now a couple of months. But this is brilliant because it's thick. It's literally like a gel now. And it was thin and watery at one point, but it's great for doing big jobs that you need to position. And because it's thick, it doesn't run everywhere. So I just think it's a false economy. Buy tiny little ones because they are always really good instead of big bottles of it.
Well, that's it. That's why we sell the little 2-ounce ones.
That's it. These ones are probably, you don't want to go any bigger than those size. This is a good one. This is AK stuff. I've been using this a lot. And it's
Do you
really
like
good
it?
stuff. I like it. Yeah, that black one's good as well. I've been using that recently as well.
I'd say I do like the black one. I've got
The black one, you can see exactly where it is, which is the nice thing with it.
Just coming to a store near you soon.
Yes, it is. But me and Matt have been testing them for the last couple of months. Obviously, the black one, do not use it with colour photo etch. Because once it's on, it won't come off of that. So use the clear one for that. Where are we? What is the best way? The best shot at getting my hands on the Ashima Fire Flash for a reasonable price. What's a Fire Flash? I'm out of this one.
We talked about that today, didn't we?
It's Thunderbirds, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
It's where they're plane that has to land on the runway, which
Is that the one where the things are running along and he lands on
Yeah,
it?
and he has to.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Don't think you'll find one of them, will you? I know somebody who's
Not in
got some
this-
die-cast ones, though.
Not in this country, probably. Why? Who's got the dinky ones?
My other half, hasn't she?
Has she got the proper dinky ones?
Oh, yes.
Has she got proper dinky Thunderbird too with Thunderbird? What's
She's
the
got
little
them
yellow
all.
thing?
Which is what she collects. It's her thing.
Oh,
She collects them.
I've got Thunderbird too, but I ain't got the middle. Yeah.
It's a
Bigger bit
Thunderbird
in the
4,
middle.
isn't it?
Eh?
Yeah, my other half
Yeah,
collects dinky and die-cast and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Thunderbird 4, that was the space one, wasn't it? Or was that the red one? The rocket. The rocket was Thunderbird 4. Thunderbird 5 was the spaceship, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 was the space station.
Or what was number 3 then?
One's
That-
the normal rockety one, plain
That's
rockety
Thunderbird
thing.
1, and the
Thunderbird
green
2's
one-
the fat thing.
What's Thunderbird 3? Is that the
So-
rocket?
Yeah, was that the red rocket?
The red rocket?
Yeah, the red rocket was Thunderbird 3. So what was 4?
what was-
4
was that
was
the
a
other one?
submarine.
the submarine, the water one that you get in the dinky kit.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what. That's
And
what I
Thunderbird
meant.
5 was the spaceship.
There you go. Yeah, they're in live chat. They've got it. They know it.
Yeah.
What's it do?
I thought that's what you meant when that's what I said. Thunderbird 4 that goes inside Thunderbird 2, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's getting mixed up with Thunderbird 3.
Yeah, there you go. Thunderbird 4 was the yellow thing that went to
Yellow thing.
Thunderbird 2. Oh, there you go. Apparently, it was Terror in the Skies, episode 1, Thunderbirds. That was.
There you go. I tell you what, I've tried to watch the new one, the Digi.
Oh,
you know,
the Digi one. Yeah.
It's not quite the same without the strings.
We liked that one in lockdown, wasn't it, Matt? What was it called?
Oh, the Nebula.
Nebula, that was it.
They did one for Halloween, and they're doing another one. That was pretty.
Matt
good,
got us all into that. If you haven't seen it and you like your Thunderbirds, it's brilliant. But you have to watch the outtake bits as well.
Yeah, and the making of it's brilliant. It's called
It's
Nebula
like,
5.
with a budget of £4.22, which during
It's
lockdown
brilliant.
we decided to make, and it's brilliant. It really is good.
It
The
is.
outtakes are the best thing, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
It was made in some flat in London, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's like the back of their wardrobe was the set, wasn't it? And all the rest
That's
of it.
it.
Very
Nebula
done.
75. That's
Nebula
it. Jake
75.
Jake
Yeah,
must
if
have
you haven't
watched
seen
it.
it, go off and see it. Give them some love. It's well worth
Yeah,
it.
it is. Give them a like and subscribe because it is like they've made a proper good effort to do
They've
that.
done a good job on that.
Really good.
I like the way when he says at the beginning, he goes, our professional model maker made it and had it shipped to us. And they literally threw it through the door, wasn't it? And it's in 100 bits. It's like, it made it securely through the Royal Mail post system. It opens it up and it's just in bits. After some skillful reconstruction, we managed to get it back together.
It was like built in Oldham or something, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
space
that's
they were
it.
using. It was brilliant. It's proper model making, isn't it? Really?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And it's the same people who made the adverts. Is it for the Halifax or whichever it was, wasn't it? Who did
Yeah.
the modern day version of the Thunderbirds. But during
Yeah.
lockdown, they did it out of their flats. Very, very good.
yeah.
James says it was fab.
FAB.
Yes. Gordon says we get the usual Friday members gallery at the end of today's video. What, is he waiting it already? Sorry, we're boring everyone. Yes, you will. Amazingly, it was tested by me and Matt. That bit where we were talking at the beginning of the show, it was still doing. That's how close to us being late we were. We thought Andy was going to make it in front of us at one point.
I did when I phoned Matt up at 10 to 1 and he said, Phil's not on yet. Or 10 to 2 rather.
10 to 2, yeah.
Yes, good old Jerry Anderson. I had the pleasure of meeting him when I was about 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was that bit in between his career where it had gone really quiet. And he was at a place called Wareham in Dorset, and I was on holiday. And it was literally in like a village hall. And I walk in there, and there's all of obviously Thunderbirdy stuff and XL5 and all of the stuff he ever worked on. And it was like, and there he was, he sat there. So I had a conversation with him for about an hour. And it was like absolutely fantastic, brilliant. And he was talking it all through. And at that point, I'd literally just come out of modelling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'd sort of got involved with the fairer sex and things like that at that point. So
John says Thunderbird 6 was a tiger moth. I remember Thunderbird
Or is he
6.
joking?
I was gonna say, is that in his
I'm
head?
looking
I
now,
think
see.
he's joking.
No, he's not.
Isn't he?
No.
Is that Lady Penelope's private plane?
What, a tiger moth? I'm sure she could afford better something than a tiger moth.
Yeah, it was tiger moth.
Was it really? We'll take it back, John. Sorry. Was that in the film? Andrew said. Can't remember a tiger. No, it's true. It's true. And Andy's going to share screen or something in a minute.
Oh, has he gone off and found it, has he?
I don't know. Mind you, probably can't. It's copyrighted. Probably we'll get a
Yeah,
strike.
we'll get a strike for that.
Right then, question for the team. What is the best thinner and what ratio paint to thinner on the new LP range? Just waiting for my order from Matt, dispatched today, to turn up so I can put a gloss black coat on my P51.
Hold on, Matt, you've just gone off. What's happened? You've just clicked. You clicked off your off button. We've just lost audio from you.
I'm back.
He's playing with the on-off button, isn't he?
Back. I've just
He's going to blow his computer up doing that.
Thunderbird
Did you hear
6
what I
was in a
just said?
film.
Oh, right, okay. Apparently it's in a special episode.
Oh God. So you didn't hear me question. Rob T's asked a question. Did you not hear that? What I've
Yeah,
said?
we did. What ratio for LP, yeah?
Yeah.
I
Go on,
treat
then.
it literally a little bit thinner than I would doing XF range. So I probably go in there at 70% thinners. I think that's probably the sweet spot. If you're new to it, you might want to go 60-40, 60% thinners, but definitely more thinners to paint. It covers really, really well.
And go on really flat, won't it?
Yeah.
Really smooth.
Very smooth and all the rest of it, but you can thin it more than you can thin the standard XF range. So if you using perhaps starting at a 50-50, you'll find that you can go a little bit thinner with the lacquers, and they go down incredibly smooth. Very, very nice. Is anyone working on a new tooled flogger? 148 scale trumpeter one looks decent, but needs the correction to look accurate. Yes, unfortunately the front end in, but we've had conversations on this and we've actually done side-by-side comparisons and things, and we've come to the conclusion that unless you really know or you've got the correct one next to it, you can get away with it. It's one of those things. If you're a real rivet counter, you can see that it's definitely something's not right. And there is aftermarket correction sets, but we've actually had many moons ago the correction set and the part next to each other. And it's a slight difference in angle, but the way we looked at it was if you just had a flogger, and to be honest, I've got the H one here. I know it's the different version, but you know what I mean. You can't tell because obviously the squarer chin on it, once it's made and done, you can sort of almost get away with it. It's just, I think it's one of those things. A lot of people like to kick the kit and all the rest of it and say, oh, it's wrong and the angle's off. But unless you've got one next to it that's correct, it's very hard to tell. So again, if you've got obviously people who are very much into it, then yeah, you might want to do something about it. But I don't think it's one of those things where it's as bad as people make out. But don't get me wrong, it's not right. It's just not as bad as I think it's made out. Failing that, do the H version, you don't have the trouble. So,
Say turned all right. Turned all right. Turned out all right.
yes.
Looks like a flogger to me.
You can get a resin nose for it, can't you? But
Yeah, well, this is the H, which is a fighter. I think he's talking about the ground attack version with the chiseled front, and that's when everyone says it's wrong. But if you remember, we did a show all about it, and we were saying that actually, when you look at the resin part and you look at the real part, there's not that much in it. It's just got the wrong slight angle at it. It looks a little bit too funny, but I think if you was to make it, you wouldn't know, because I've got it down there. I've actually got the same kit.
I'd say it's quick boost, isn't it?
I can't remember now who did it, but we did have one. Somebody had one because they gave it to me to show, but I've got it there. Obviously, other versions of this are available.
Yep.
I think this is the one where you get about... because this is all apart from where we actually did it. So we actually got this all out for the fronts on it and everything. But honestly, I don't think it's as bad out as what people make. I think it's not. It's one of those ones where, as I said, if you're into it, you'll know it's not right. If you're not that worried, I think it would be okay.
Rob McCluskey's put a picture up of his 5 or XL5, wherever it is. Or is that a different show?
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's quite big as well, isn't it, actually? I don't think it's that big. It's actually quite cool, that, Rob. I have to say, it looks good. Do you get the little trolleys for it to land on, the little...
No, well, you need one of the Thunderbirds to run out in front and become its undercarriage, isn't it?
Somebody's asking about what's the best wash to use to do aged leather. I think your wash is on about.
Oh, is he? Oh, well,
Yeah.
I don't know, because aged leather, it's got that funny colour, isn't it? Are you talking about it going back sort of reddy hue it goes when leather gets old and cracks and stuff?
You're doing a rusty sand mix, aren't you? Because obviously, I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? Because I'd do it in oil. I'd do it in oils personally, but
I think I'll be more inclined to do it in oils if I'm honest, because I think you can then manipulate and blend better with oils than you will with like the clay wash. The clay wash, obviously, you could start with like the mud, because that's like a ready mud anyway, and work from there, and then say perhaps mix sand into it and stuff like that. But honestly with you, I'd probably use oils, because that way you can literally, if it's not looking correct, you can change the hue on the fly and blend it a lot better. That's it. They're all off now. Stingray. I must admit, I was Stingray, but I had a thing for Aquamarina.
Hey, apparently you do get the elevator cars with the what Rob's built, the plane thing. Same size as a 1144 Concorde, apparently it is.
It's probably based on a 144 Concorde, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it's probably where they
yeah,
nicked the body for it to do it. That's why, funnily enough, spookily, it's the same size as. It's probably what they grafted it to.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Always Concord based on that.
Right, question from Les. Using Tamiya LP and found not much difference on sheen with satin and gloss using Tamiya LP thinners. Any idea? Dodgy paint? Can you check, Phil, like you did the other day?
On what were we doing, sorry?
Something to do with LP paint, and it says not found much difference on the sheen with satin and gloss using Tamiya, I presume, lacquer thinners.
Again, don't forget, like when I was playing with it, we did this thing the other day. The surface that you're going on, even if you're using the rapid thinners and obviously the retarder one, when we were doing it on here, they've all got a satin look because obviously you need to build it up further. So if you were doing gloss coats, that would have another couple of coats, you know, and perhaps polishing between coats and everything to give you a thick gloss blue look. And that's the difference. I think if you try and do that rapid thinners, it's always going to have that slightly satin look to it. It's not going to go to a deep, lustful gloss look.
Yeah, but it's using Tamiya lacquer thinners. So there's two sorts. There's the orange retarded type, and then the sandy yellow top, which is just a normal.
So this is the retarded one. But again, you know, don't forget, if you're using the retarded one, there's a couple of things you're going to have to do as well. You're going to need to turn down your air pressure. You want to get a nice good mix of it and putting it down wet so it's got time for this to work. Because if you put this down thin, it will dry too quick. You need to give it a bit of it. That's it. And he's got the other one. This is the retarded one, and he's got the normal one.
So that one Andy's got is going to act like normal model colour thinners, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not rapid, it's not that fast, but it's just normal. Well, obviously that's going to act like self-leveling. So I presume if you want a gloss coat, you need the orange top one for the slow drying time.
We will sniff it. Is this something to do, Andy? Hold on.
It smells a bit like pear drops, this one does.
So she said. So does that.
Or does it smell like what we were with yesterday? Strip clubs.
Yeah, strip club floor. Yeah, I don't know what a strip club smells like. I don't frequent them very often. Right, she's off today.
Hey, or ever.
Or ever. Last time I was in one, I was very ill. Anyway, skirting around that question.
Yeah. What's he put? Same service gloss for decking. Then once deckled, satin on was the orange top. Satin was very gloss.
But Phil showed it on video before, though, where how your different spraying techniques can make a paint look between gloss and satin or matte using the same paint, just how you spray it, isn't it?
I don't know if I've still got it in here, but I actually did do a video on this. I think it might be an airbrushing. And what I did was I basically used one paint, one mix, but by just changing the air pressure, you can have dead flat to gloss. There it is. Black coats and frostings and things like that. I'm sure it's in there. I think it was in that one. So in this particular video I have, you can see me looking 12. So, oh look, flat varnish. So this is what we were talking about in this video. You can go off and see this one. I'm a long distance off and we're spraying it from on high. So because it's coming in from a long distance, it's drying as it gets to the surface. So you're going to have a dead flat frosted look purely because it's all airborne and coming down. So that's what that's doing. And that's showing you how you get like that frosting effect, and the paint's too thick and there's so many things going wrong there. It's really to show you it's going wrong. And then a bit further up here, if I remember rightly, God, it looks foggy in there, doesn't it? Anyway, there you go. You can see the different ones. So you've got literally going from flat as hell right the way across, and you can see them, but the paint mix is the same. So it just depends on the distance you're spraying from and the air pressure. And as you get closer to the surface, you're using less air pressure, which is drying the medium, you know, slower. So it's got better time to level and smooth itself out. I think in there we were using all different stuff for this, about 10 different things, I think, if I remember rightly. Can't remember now, but there you go. That's looking horrible. But yeah, if I remember rightly, we got that finishing up in the clouds of smoke you can see in the background, breathing. But yeah, we did like 4 different versions of it and going through showing you texture with paint, even though it's just the standard paint, but from different air pressures and different distances. And you can see how things dry and how they look and stuff like that. So yes, note to self, turn extractor on.
Tony says that Andy's got Matt's echo sound. Huh?
Yeah, he got bad echo, Andy.
That's it. Andy's the weak link now with his microphone, with his blue Yeti.
Yeah.
Have I got a bad echo? Because I've just been looking at something else.
It may be just because you're on a separate page.
I was looking at
Peter says his wife's called Marina. Yeah, the similarity ends. Yeah, but she has to be called Aqua and Marina. Apparently, Captain Scarlet, they had the warning that said, Captain Scarlet may be invincible, but you are not. Don't try these things at home. What, get shot? Like that famous incident where that idiot gets the Darwin Award, decided to put a telephone book on his chest and his mate shot him.
Rob says no, Morris Marina. Not Morris Marina.
So we never got to the answer if he's got an echo or not.
He sounds all right this end. I can't.
It does sound all right my end as well. So yeah.
Cool. I don't know if we got any questions anyway. I know we're running out of time, but let me just pop in here and have a look.
Yeah, I had to look for questions, but where would they be?
I don't know where people are sticking them at the moment. It could be anywhere nowadays. We've got so many things on the go. It's like, where are we today? Lockdown show. This was yesterday. But I'd just like to point out, you all were correct and I was definitely wrong. Apparently, Devon isn't got the most southest point.
Oh.
Next thing you know, I've got GPS coordinates being sent to me. So clearly I was definitely wrong on that.
Oh, we've got some questions. Richard, where's he put that?
That's 2 hours ago. That's 2 days ago.
Let's try new questions. You see, we're not really up to speed today, are we?
Yeah, so Scott's basically saying here about the mugs and everything else, and it's crazy with the postage. We spoke about it before, but like Matt does and I will do, if the postage works out any cheaper, then obviously I will refund you. Because I know some of you have paid literally something like 27 quid to cut the mug sent to you, and it's like, that seems extortionate to me. But from the weight point of view of how it is, that's what it costs. But if it does come in, obviously I get the invoice from the post usually about 2 days later. I can look at it and say, well, actually you didn't, you only paid 18 quid and I'll refund you the difference. That's fine. But obviously, I don't know until we actually get it through.
Anyway, Paul's got a question.
Right?
Hi guys, does anyone make a weapon set for the Edard Desert Babe Tornado GR1?
Yeah, Edard.
Edard.
They do the JP233. Or is it
Okay,
out
right.
yet? Have they actually released that yet?
Yeah, it's all separate. It's been separate for a while, I think.
Is it? Yeah. So you can actually buy that. And like, the thing is, other stuff they can do, because obviously they carried the paveway bombs. You can buy them Hasegawa, the weapon set. What they call the smart bomb range, which is weapon set maybe D, I'm guessing a little bit there. I don't know if anybody else knows which one it was, but that's in there.
Chuck's put a thing as well. Hi team, just want to let you know I ordered 2 cups that are coming to Oregon, and the postage for the 2 cups was £19.55p.
Which sounds about right.
Yeah. Also, Phil, could you tell me what video and audio equipment you are using to make the streaming live shows, etc.?
Oh God. Okay, so cameras are Canon. Starting at the beginning. The cameras are Canon, so that's the X10, which is using the SDI feed out or SBI feed out, which then goes into one computer where there is a capture card, and then the capture card then puts it into normal format. Okay, which then is on the same computer loop, which comes in from there, and it goes into something called XSplit. Then we've got Skype running. So the guys are coming in via Skype, as you see them there, are coming into that same one. The audio devices are all coming in separately. So I've got a Rode microphone here, not the one that's over there, because we're using this one. The guys are on audio feeds as well, and it all comes in separate. So we have a separate audio mix that then comes in. So that's how we kind of change it somewhat on the fly, as we can do them usually. So then that comes into there. It's then sent to another computer, which then crunches it all together and then streams it. Because the thing is, if we get one computer tries to do it all at once, when we have like 5 or 6 of us as well, and it's HD feeds coming in, the computer doing all the work hasn't got enough grunt in it to actually send the signal. So it goes to another one, which is this one down in here, which then sends the signal out to YouTube, and then YouTube does their bit, and away you go. So that's how it works. There is a few other bits and pieces in amongst it, but that's software related, which that's boring stuff.
Yeah. Just say happy birthday to Rob McCluskey, because he's off to start drinking. So
Rob.
have a good one. Enjoy.
Okay, have a good one, mate. Happy birthday.
And
Gin
apparently,
and bitter lemon.
yeah, he's on his gin and bitter lemon. Nice. Followed up with a baby sham. Humberside Airport's got a Thunderbird free. A full one.
What has? Who's got one?
Humberside Airport.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I flew from there when we went to the Netherlands, and proper little airport. It's brilliant. It's really nice. They do about 2 flights a day. I think they do one to Schiphol and one to Aberdeen for riggers, and that's
Right,
it.
yeah, that's it.
I think the ambulance goes from the air ambulance is based here. I think one of them is anyway. But yeah, it's a right nice little airport. I didn't notice that though, so it must have been a new addition.
No, that's it.
Cool.
There isn't normally many kits released before Christmas. No. Normally the releases tend to come in the new year. Will get mentioned, as I say, this year, as and when. What do you think to using vinyl masks that can be reused?
Well, I find the chafe a bit if you don't use enough talcum powder. I don't know about you two.
Yes. Yeah, it literally is one of those things. Vinyl masks, we have a love-hate relationship with them, don't we? Because sometimes they can leave a lot of glue behind as you're trying to peel them off and get them off in one piece with vinyl. That's why we quite like sort of Tamiya tapey type ones. What do they call it? Kabui tape?
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi. Is that or is that a place, isn't it?
I think so.
Kabui
I
tape.
thought it was Kabui.
Yeah, Kabui tape, yeah.
So yes, I prefer Kabui tape because I just find it's easier to remove without anything. You know, say vinyl masks, some of them can have, we were speaking about various manufacturers during the week, they can leave a lot of glue behind, which is a right sod to try and get off afterwards.
I've had some and tried using them again, and yeah, it does.
They're crap.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Let's be honest, they're rubbish.
Yes.
Yeah, but by the time you've tried pulling them up and you've got like bits of paint on the edges of them anyway, or it's just, I don't know, you never get the same effect back.
Yeah, apparently Eddard do a
Sorry,
big
Dave.
sin set for the tornado.
You what, sorry?
Apparently Eddard do a big sin set 1/48
Ah,
scale for the tornado. So
Yeah. I tell you what, we can butcher any language, can't we, on this programme? You name it, we'll kill it.
That's why
oh
we
look,
don't
see
mention.
look, Peter, hold on, we've got to do this because Peter's trying to push his own YouTube channel, so we'll give him a shout out. Peter Oxley apparently did a review of the obviously I presume the tornado accessory set yesterday.
Okay, there you go.
That's your 2 minutes of fame. That's all you're going to get. Tom says, those of you who have built the AMK F14, how did you find the build? It is just me that finds it a bit over-engineered. What's your thoughts on this instructions? Apologies who it was, but I think he's one of our members, messaged me yesterday, and I haven't answered him yet because, to be honest, I've actually been full on. I will do later. And he was saying, because we were discussing it about it, he's built both. And he says, you're quite correct about the AMK one. It's cheaper, but it's a right ball ache to put together. So he says the Tamiya one, literally, it just falls together, no problem at all. But the AMK one can be a right handful to get together. But like we were discussing, for the price point, it's one of those things. You are, it is a lot cheaper. So it's still probably worth doing that way.
But I've not built the AMK F14. I've got it in the box, but not built it.
If I recall correctly, you all were joking about the Forces of Valor kits, which is then apparently make them undesirable to build. I've tried their KV2 and quite liked it. I thought we liked the Forces of Valor stuff because that's the...
We've built them. They're great little kits.
Yeah, Peter, you sure we were on about them?
No, it weren't all slagging them off because they're brilliant little kits.
I was going to say...
I've did two and they're in the cabinet in the shop, aren't they?
Yeah, I did the little Sherman tank. And we did because we did it in lockdown. Did we do it lockdown?
Yes, I think you did.
Was
I
it
did
lockdown?
Abrams and a
A
truck.
Andy did, it was the beginning of the lockdown, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't us, Peter. We like Forces of Valor stuff.
Yeah, they're all right. They're good value for money as well. Really good starter kits for if you want kids to get into it, if they want something to build, or even just a quick weekend build for yourself. They're fantastic.
Yeah. I did my Abrams and did it on a little coffee lid base.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
I'm sure it was last year. I don't think it was this year.
Don't know. I can't remember now. This year's like a minefield, isn't it?
No, I'll tell you what. It might have been thingy.
Turkey shoot last year.
I bet last year. Was it turkey shoot last year?
I was going to say, didn't you do it for turkey shoot last year? Thinking about it.
I think it was turkey shoot last year. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that flew.
A year old.
Blimey. It is. It's turkey shoot last year.
Any suggestions for removing model air forks?
You what?
Any suggestions for removing model air forks? I don't know what one of them is.
Model Air Force.
Any suggestions?
Removing Model Air, folks.
Oh, folks. Oh, right. Got you. Sorry. IPA does it absolutely fantastic, but as we said before, sometimes it's better just to rub down and respray rather than try and strip it all the way back.
Yeah. Definitely.
If you're lucky, you might be able to just peel it off.
Not once it's properly dried, it'll be all right. Sorry, the guys on there.
Hold on, we might have some questions in our.
One of the guys asking, what's your opinion on the Itinerary 172nd XB70?
Very old. The Valkyrie, the big one that crashed.
That's ancient.
Supersonic bomber. Very, very old. To be honest, it's the only one you're going to find. So it's one of those kits. It's a brilliant kit because it's the only one. As far as I know, that is the only kit of it. Wasn't that the famous one where the F-105 got caught in the vortex from the wingtip and it got dragged into the bomber because it was on a photo shoot, and then it flipped over, and then the F-104 took out the tailplanes, and then that was it. It crashed, and it was up on a photo shoot. They were all in formation, all the X-planes, and it cocked it up. So we think that the F-104 pilot lost his bearings a little bit and got sucked in.
Emerald Suzuka says Simple Green does a solid number on Vallejo paints.
There you go. So, there's a question from 2 days ago, which is after our show in the PM bit.
Mm-hmm.
What Darren's put in, it says, for those who wish to purchase kits from PM or sanders and washers from you, what is the national and international deadline for Christmas delivery? Now? Today?
Seriously, I think it all goes out the window. I think realistically, US is normally just before the beginning of December, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just all over. It's not. I can't
But
see
I
how
wouldn't take it. I'd take it all with a pinch of salt, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way things are now long the taking, it's like, yeah.
I had a delivery from Amazon today, gone while I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
It would have easily fit through the letterbox.
Yeah.
And he left it on the back doorstep.
Oh.
Yeah, but don't forget, my one now, for some reason, whatever I order, they always stick under the car. They don't even ring the doorbell. And then the first I know, I get a text message saying you've been delivered a photo of my car. And it's like, why don't you just ring the doorbell?
Yeah. And it's been chucking it down rain here all morning.
Yeah.
Was it out good?
No.
Something soft.
It's for show.
Was it for show? All right, fair enough.
I haven't even opened it, I've just chucked it in the kitchen. So.
Chucked in the tumble dryer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Apparently the XP70 giant model, giant gaps, stunning. If you finish the build somewhere on Brit Modeler, mine is in a box of doom.
So what are you reviewing next?
Me? Well,
Yes.
I don't know. I thought I might have a go at, obviously want to mix it up a bit. Might do the Chally next.
All right, yeah.
I might, well, I won't sit there. But then after that, it's like, take your pick. To be honest, I did have a sneaky, it's all right, it's just a Peugeot. I did have a sneaky look in that. That's not going to take long to review, is it? Have you looked in the box?
Yeah, I have.
There's like 4 bits, that's it. And one of them's a bloody pipe. So that will be quite straightforward. But no, as I say, the rest of it, we've got some nice tasty stuff in here, and I will go through and everything. I must admit, I'm itching to have a look at the rockets.
I think you should actually do the rockets next. Do one of the rockets. I think that'd be a good one for something different as well, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So have you decided on your thing then? Are you still doing your little, I can't remember what it's called, your rocket for next weekend, or are you doing the missile?
This is it. I don't know. I might get both done. I don't know. Definitely going to do the Angry Phoenixes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Want to do those because, as I say, I've got my acrylic for that, and we're going to bend it and stick them up in flight. So I want to do that, and I say I'll get time. Might have a go at the shell. Just depends how much time we actually get. Probably won't have enough to do both. So I might keep the other ones for other live shows we might do.
Okay.
Jason says he's got the Avionics EA6B Prowler cockpit set, which I'm looking to put onto a figure mount. Will that do for turkey shoot? Yeah, build what you want, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, there is no rules or anything else at all for the turkey shoot. You just have to have fun. And if you don't, I'll send Andy round.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll make you smile.
Make you have fun.
You will have fun. We have ways and means of making you smile. So yes, that's the plan with that one. Literally, as I say, there's no prizes and no nothing. There will be a video. I'll stick a video together with all your great work and stuff like that. But generally, rule 1, have fun. Rule 2, see rule 1. That's it.
So we're all starting. Sorry, we're all starting Thursday night then.
Yeah.
Officially can start Thursday night.
Officially, you can start because it's turkey time in the US on Thursday.
So Thursday night, Friday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So we know where we are.
The accent you had just then when you were saying that sounded like that dentist that I had with the nicotine stained.
Okay.
Crikey, did he? No, I'm not even going to go.
Cheek.
Don't do it.
What was her name? The one from the concentration camp.
Yeah.
Used to make
No.
things out of skin.
No.
Was it like her? Did she have an eye patch?
Moving on.
With a sign on it. Anyway, she doesn't work practice anymore. She's not allowed. Yeah, Chris saying his mug took 12 days to get to Oz, but don't forget, I did send that a while ago, so Post has probably gone absolutely crazy now.
Yeah.
Is the Kitty Hawk Jaguar worth all the sweat and tears? Yes, I built it.
Yes.
Definitely. To be honest, you compare it next. What else you got? The Airfix one. That's horrible.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely. You know, again, it's one of those things. It is the only one. Okay, yeah, Airfix have got theirs, but it's night and day. Very, very nice. You just have to spend all the time, and if you're doing it open like I did mine, not a problem. It's only when you want to close it up, it gets a bit gappy. It's got the Rimmel London look.
Hey, talking of Jags, when do you think Airfix will do a 72nd one?
With a Jag.
Yeah, they should.
Actually, I tell you what's a really nice one, 72nd, is Italeri did the two-seater, didn't they?
Yeah, they did single seat as well. What's the one that Nathan's built?
I've
Has
got
Nathan
one.
built it? Oh no, he's built the Azagawa one because I gave it him. Forgot about that.
If you go into classic builds, one of the first ones I ever did. There it is. Look at that, classic. Let's have dodgy jumper. Look at the camera quality.
I tell you, that's not that bad.
Filmed
Yeah,
with...
I've built that kit.
Hold on.
Again.
There we go. Loading up an airbrush, still in the colour cup. I think that's been dry brushed in the cockpit. Look at the detail. Look at that. See? This would have been around about 2000, this was.
Hey, look.
Look, original glue that I probably don't use. I don't know.
Why you
Did
got
I
that?
even use that back then? This was before, like, faces and
That's
stuff.
probably what. Don't use this stuff, use that.
It probably is that. Look, I've got gator glue on the side there. We got some going in with some extra thin. Look, extra thin. Look at that. See, look.
I could say, where did you manage to get that from?
What, extra thin?
Yeah.
In those days, I know. So yeah, look, that's the fuselage going together, which is fuselage. See?
I tell you, it's like watching footage from World War One, isn't it?
It is. Pathé News. I should do a voiceover for them.
Yeah.
Mr. Chumley Warner built models. I could redo that. I'm going to redo them and just dub my voice over the top now.
You should have make them all crackly and all.
Yeah, all crackly and do it in sepia.
Yeah.
Next, you take the paint and you stick it on your model. Wait for the paint to dry. That's part one. It would have only been like a two-parter or something like that back in the day. Yes, look. While sticking on the glue, we can wait for the putty to dry. For this particular one, we use Squadron Green.
Proper Squadron Green as well.
Yeah, that would be the old one. Look, there we go. Look, putting the putty onto the actual model using tape to carefully keep it in the right areas. Care must be taken not to put too much.
So what do you clean that off with?
I got a feeling that I either used lacquer thinners or I would have sanded it. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Old school. Used a little bit of plastic for trying to get it out the tube because it's where it's gone rock hard.
Yeah.
There you go. The odd little bit of putty involved. Yeah, look at it. Smear it on. Look, if you get a gap, just chuck it on.
I thought you said it was a nice kit.
Look, I must have taped one there and got bored. And then on the rest of it, I just chucked it everywhere. Screw it. It's a lovely kit. To be honest, children, if you do it now, you probably take your time. You probably won't need as much filler as I used. So anyway, let's see how we're getting it off. Oh, look, we're in with a pre-Flory model sanders, because in those days, I didn't do sanders. So look, how to sand. Done that a few times. Yeah. No detail left in any area whatsoever. Oh, sorry. Hold on. We're in captions. Don't want captions on.
Oh, you
Crikey.
could have put the subtitles on.
Yeah, let's look at the subtitles. Look, hold on. English auto generation. Sausages. Oh,
This is
Jesus
the best
God.
bit. Yeah, leave them on.
Oh, yes, look.
No sausage fingers here.
Yeah,
Just make a
that's
right
it.
meal of this.
Oh, gosh, see, terrible. There we go. Look, bit of wet, spit on it. Greener on the green stuff. Oh, Jesus, I can't watch this. We'll be here a week. There you go. For 4 weeks to fill in. Anyway, on part 3. Are we into paint yet?
What? Andy, what was it that time we were watching and we did have the subtitles on and it was proper hilarious because it was like nothing that was being said.
No, I can't remember what that was.
It was just...
Well, there we go. Look, there's a bit of a step I think I'm pointing out there, but we won't worry about that. That's it. Oh
Nice.
my God, I got a knife in my hand. That's a worry.
He just come back from fishing.
Yeah.
Has the trawler just kicked you off?
Yeah. No, you leave that jumper alone. I'll have you know, it was cold in that house. That house was built in like 1827 or something. It was bloody freezing.
Yeah, but you weren't living in 1827, were you? If we had central heating it 20 years ago.
I couldn't afford central heating in those days, to be honest. You had to huddle round the fire in the lounge if you wanted heat in that house.
Did you have to share a bath in front of the fire?
Literally, yeah. We used to get the tin bath out in them days.
Or was you in the sink with your box of flash?
Well, you would do, but I looked over the main road and I used to get complaints when they were waiting at the bus stop.
So
anyway, priming up. I think, look, we're using XF19 to prime then because that's before primers were popular.
And it's blocked, look, because you hadn't thinned it.
Yeah, that's it.
Is this when you was in Torquay?
No, this is when I was in mid-Devon.
Oh, mid-Devon.
In mid-Devon, up in Tiverton.
Okay.
So this is pre all of that. Yeah, this would have been around about 2001.
Oh, right, okay.
I can tell from the titles, this was pre-YouTube, wasn't even invented then. There was no such thing as YouTube, so we had our own servers. You know, and this is where we used to have to do 30 minutes because that's the maximum file size that we're allowed up. Anyway, pre-shading.
Tony said that your mum's knitted that jumper for you. I know your mum, she ain't knitted no has she ever.
No, she's not even knitted.
She wouldn't have knitted.
Actually, it's a lie. She did. She knitted all the kids' clothes when they were babies. Oh, look, skip forward a bit. It's now not looking too bad. So, decals on, painted up. I think we did it in the can openers. Not too bad. And then, obviously, this is obviously pre-weathering wash as well, I think. I don't think we even had the wash back in them days. Or if we did, it would have been very prototypey. So...
Yes, the Fiat 131 is a re-release.
It is. It's back out soon as well.
Yeah.
So yes, going in there, and then the final part 5.
How did you manage to get a 5-parter out of that little kit?
It's a detailed video build.
Milking it more like.
There we go. Look, lights going on. A little bit of hand painting involved. There it is. This is the days I had one camera. That was it. One camera and one light. That's why the camera shakes like hell because I was working. It was actually the worktop, and that's what it was wedged between a cabinet and a thing on wheels. So occasionally it used to slide off. Look, resin seat, if I remember. These are, whose seats were these? God, I can't remember who they were now. They were very old. Anyway, yeah, we're using Airwaves stuff onto this. Oh, canopy fell off. Don't worry about that. There it is. Oh, we put fog covers on it as well to hide the horrible intakes.
There you go.
Look, my modelling hasn't really improved. That's the worry.
The camera work has though.
Yeah, we got some, and they're a little bit clearer because that's the maximum resolution. There it is. Look, that's what you wanted to see. What music did we have back then? There you go. Hello. I can't do it. We'll get a copyright strike on that because the video will get us done. But that was in the days before we used to pay for music. So we used to have Van Halen and everything on.
Yeah.
So, yes. So actually, it wasn't a bad kit considering. Very nice. No flat. I think you can get, if I remember rightly, somebody used to do a resin wing for that with drop flaps and slats.
Right.
As well in 72nd. I don't know if Airwaves did it, but somebody did. Or is it Paragon did it? I don't know. I can't remember.
Paragon. It might have been Paragon.
Yeah.
If I say that's only 2-seat Jag anyway, isn't it? In 72nd.
In 72nd, yeah. Yeah.
I think Kazugawa did one.
No.
Yeah, Neil, the 48 Kitchell one was in Winter Camo, yeah. That's at the shop.
Yes.
Is it? Round the corner.
Yep.
Mm.
Yes.
And
Classics.
one of the guys asking our opinion on the Academy 72nd F22.
It's all right, isn't it? The F22.
I haven't. The only 22 I've done is the Revell one in 72nd. Was it Revell did one?
Oh, I don't
48th,
know.
I've done the Academy one.
No, it's a good kit.
Hmm.
Because it's all right. Yeah, I'm just thinking which boxing it is because there are 2 boxes of it, don't they? They did the 7 countries one, is it, or whatever?
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
And then they did the US one. So yeah, I think it's all right.
Yeah, we've had them in the shop, haven't we?
We've had them. Yeah, I haven't got one at the minute. I don't think they've sold out, but yeah. There you go. There's
That
the
does
box.
look really nice, actually, in the shop, must admit. Colour scheme suits it.
Again, everyone slates that kit, but if you do it open like that, it's because obviously that's pretty much how it is out of the box with all the open. It doesn't have a problem. It goes together all right. It's just a little bit complicated around the gear. You have to get your head around how that goes together. And again, admittedly, a lot of the panels don't close, so you have to get in there with a plastic card to close it all up. If you do it open, it's actually really nice. You know? So, yeah.
Looks like a Jag to me. What's the 3D printer do you own, Andy? And would you recommend it?
I have got a
Elegoo Mars.
Elegoo Mars. Thank you. Yeah, and definitely recommend it. The only thing is, it's just you've got to get your head around CAD. Unless you can buy, or you can download 3D CAD. Yes, so 3D files for them to do. They take a long time to print.
Stink.
Smells a bit, yeah. So I'm the only one in our house that's doesn't like the smell of it. My wife doesn't mind it. My son doesn't mind it. For me, it gives me a cracking headache. But yeah, the quality of some of the stuff you can get from it is fantastic. I've got nothing with me, to be honest with you, to show you, but yeah, the quality is really, really good. And if you're good with CAD and you can design your own things, world's your oyster. You could,
Have you got any of his things left that he sent you, Phil? The baskets for the VC10? Or did you kill them all?
I don't know. Well, if not, I can show you the baskets after this day. They're not quite this. I don't know what I did with the baskets, to be honest.
Brian's put you, Andy. Notice you were cleaning an old model. Yeah, an old model. He's calling your mosquito an old model. With a big brush. Is it the Tamiya anti-static brush? And was it worth the money?
Yes, it is the Tamiya anti-static brush. And yeah,
they're not cheap, but
I think it's worth the money, yeah. They're not cheap. And Phil's got a big brush.
A big soft makeup brush would do the same thing, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But to fair, it took me about 6 years to realise that the end pulls off. You got like a little bit on the other side of it. But
do you know what? I never knew that.
No, I didn't know that either.
Honestly, I've never. I don't know if I've got one here somewhere. I think
this is what Andy printed for me. It's a shuttlecock. But printing wise, I have to say, for somebody who's seen a lot of PLA printing, this is the first time I'd seen the resin one. It is very fine. You can see all those veins are all individuals. It does an incredibly detailed job, and there's no real texture. It's not like the PLA where you've got grooves going through it. And then all I did was a bit of chopping around, and we turned it into a basket system. We put it on here and did this with a little bit of wires and various things in there, but you can see the basics off of it. It turned out really, really nice. Doesn't smell.
It does some really good stuff. It's just, it's fussy and takes time. And the way they work, because the time is how long it takes to go up, the number of lines it does. So you could, like, literally those shuttlecocks, you could literally do 100 on your print bed, and it'd take exactly the same time as just doing one. Because it doesn't matter how many across. It's like how high you're doing it. But if you're building one thing tall, it'll take you hours and hours and hours to do.
Well, like I say, it's a unique bit of a kit that if you can get your head around CAD, you can.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason why I bought it is because my son's doing A-level stuff. But he was using it. Yeah, he has used it for part of his A-levels. And then so like, that was the reason. Oh, no, it wasn't the reason why I bought it, because I wanted one.
Let's get it right.
But you need IPA you can use other stuff, but we were using IPA to clean it all down with, and then IPA became very expensive because the virus came around, and everyone was like, then all the companies were using IPA for making hand wash, because that's the main ingredient for hand wash, and IPA went through the roof, the prices of it, and we sort of like stopped doing any printing. It's still set up, still downstairs. It's just like needs to do something.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? With all, you need to learn it inside out. You need to know how CAD works and everything else. The printer bit is actually the easy bit, isn't it? You know,
it takes a bit of messing
once
around.
You get the setup and you know your setups and your things like that. But all that work, you will sit in front of a computer working it all out, a bit like a normal, printer, and you just hit print and off it goes. But it's learning, as you say, CAD design, various things to it and stuff. I'm all of these people like download it and then print it. That's how a height would do it, Yeah,
and you have to have supports, because if you've got an underhang, it can't print an underhang, so you have to have a support going, so say on a chin like that, so it can print up, and then sort of do around it, and it's like figuring out. There's programs that will just automatically do your supports, but after they're not as refined or as good if you didn't do them yourself. So it's learning how to do the supports yourself, and it's like where the best places to put them. It's like you might put one there and then forget to do one on the nose, and then you end up printing it. You got like no nose or something, and you have to.
I think like you did those soldiers, didn't you? They were really good. And those figureheads and stuff like that. I suppose because as you say, I'm a little bit blinkered. I sit here, not have my finger on the pulse of all these things, but I was surprised at the quality, because the detail that was on it was far better than I've seen on anything else. But that's the first time I've seen technically like a resin printer versus your normal sort of nylon printer. Nylon printers that do this, you can see it. It's like a record with the grooves on it. Yours, like with these shuttles that we used to make these, which are refueling baskets for the BC-10. It blew me away when it came through. I was like, that is so fine. It's like less than the width of a hair for each one of those up, and it's strong. And I really thought as soon as I touched it, it would just crumble. But I sanded it all to take the ends off, because I put a basket hoop on the end of them, and none of them broke, none of them snapped off. So actually I was very, very impressed with it.
I've got some 3D printed tool clamps. I think MJ Miniatures do them, and they're fab. They're really nice.
I think for our hobby, the resin printer is definitely the one you want, rather than going, the
PLA, is it?
Yeah, PLA one.
And there's a quick question, and then we're going to have to wrap up, aren't we? Right, Robert put, is there a list of Phil's upcoming builds? I did a search, but could not find anything. Phil don't know what he's building until I tell him.
Yeah, I have to speak to my boss, and then he tells me what I'm allowed to build. Hold on, can I show him on camera? That's if it'll work. Hold on. There you go. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on, let me. So, as you can see, I've got this lot all down here, which is all kits to do. I've got a pile down there and all of that lot all over there as well. So that's the thing. We've got absolute tons of it. And I have got a rough idea what will be... Oops, sorry, wrong one. I need to go up one. There we go. I have got a rough idea what I'm going to do and everything, but... like everything, if something comes along, like a kit release or something else like that, and everyone's saying, oh, can you build it? And we need to know what it's like, then I'll go off and build it and do something. I tend to, as I say, at the moment, I'm doing technically armour, so I'm doing air armour, we did aircraft, we did obviously the bowcaster. I tend to try and do bits and pieces just to keep everybody happy as we go through. So there's no official list, because some get fudged, some get moved. Originally I wanted to do the Zero, but obviously we've got a group build coming up next year when the Zero will be perfect for it, so I've delayed it so I can take part in the group build as well. So yes, it is a little bit all over the place. As I say, my next build, to be honest, is this. Well, it's sat literally right here. We're doing that, which I want to get done before Christmas. So these technically will possibly be my 2 last kits before Christmas, amongst other things. So I've still got like one-day builds and all those things as well. So hopefully we'll come in. Next year, I might try and put a little bit of a list up of what I'll be doing.
Just in YouTube chat, Jen said that Elegoo make a water washable resin, no need for RPA. I've read very mixed reviews on their water washable ribbons. It's a bit, yeah, don't know. Need to try it, but
yes, that's over my head.
And apparently, are we on Monday?
Are we?
Oh, I don't know. Are we?
I don't know. You're the boss.
I can do Monday. I can't do Tuesday next week.
Oh, right.
So I will definitely not be on Tuesday. You'll be with Andy doing your Q&A Tuesday. Back Wednesday. Thursday we do Thursday night anyway. And
yeah.
Friday,
So all right. So we can do Monday because as I say, I'll be working over the weekend anyway because my other half's working. But as I say, I might have Monday morning off. And then obviously Tuesday, I'll do Tuesday with you anyway. I don't know if Andy's around. Are you around, Andy?
yeah, I'm around. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so me and Andy will do Tuesday with you because I'll do Tuesday Q&A as normal. Wednesday will be the PM show, so it'll be kitty things and all stuff like that. And then, as I say, Thursday night we'll be on at 7:30 to start the turkey shoot. So it's the American Thanksgiving, so that will kick off that one. So if you want to join in with us, we'll all be building and various things on there. Then we'll be on with you on Friday afternoon. And then we'll be on with you Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening next week. So that's the plan of action for next week as make our way through. So it might all change a little bit, obviously, because of work and fudging it and various things like that around. But that's roughly the guide of where we'll be. As I say, next week I've got loads of stuff. So I'm going to have a review up for you every day. Going to push on really heavily with getting the MRAP together into primer and paint is the goal for next week as well. Because obviously then we've got the turkey shoot, which we'll be focusing on that one. And then the week after, I really want to wrap that one up if we can. Then I can hand it to Matt to figurize and to display.
well, I think to be honest with you, because obviously the turkey shoot, I am going to actually be cracking on with the base and the figures. I think because otherwise they're not going to get done. Because at the minute I'm really got no building time at all. And when I get home, it was a bit like I can't be arsed if I'm honest. I've managed this week to actually paint a downpipe and a bit of guttering for a building. That is all I've done in the shed. Because it's just I've been knackered to be perfectly honest. So I think that's what next Thursday night when we're doing it, I'm going to start on the figures and stuff and just try and put them together, and I'll just put the overhead on at home, and then we'll see how far I get with it. Really, I think I've got a base I can already utilise. I think, and I've bought some main things for it, some concrete walls and stuff because they were on offer, weren't they? So I bought some of them. So we'll see what they're like as well. So yeah.
He told me it was painting a gutter and a downpipe, and I thought it's raining outside. What are you painting that for?
That's the only work he does around the house. In scale.
Don't get me up a ladder.
No, it's
no way.
Mike was saying in chat, can we see the models built on the glass cases?
We will do next week. I'll give you a tour around in here because it has changed a lot since you guys probably last saw it. But I need to clear because I can't even get to it because there's boxes in the way. Actually, out of interest, this coffin you sent me, where did that box come from?
Oh, it's one we get from the box company because I needed bigger boxes because I do recycle like stuff we get, but I needed some more. Because
I could fit in that.
It's good, isn't it?
It's the biggest box I've ever seen.
At least it's got handles in it.
And it did because he turned up with it literally like that. It was like, my God. So yes, that is a very, very large box. So yes, cool. Very good. Right, as always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery, if I've queued this up correctly, bearing in mind it was done literally 30 seconds before we came on air. But hopefully it'll work. So anyway, we're not going to see you over the weekend because we're going to have a weekend off because we're with you next weekend. So we will see you 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. So if you want to join us for then, it'd be an absolute pleasure. Don't forget, you can see the review if you haven't had enough of it already of obviously. Hold on, let me bring this one up. It's in here, one of these anyway. So yes, that's us now. Then you've got the MRAP, and obviously we've got the tornado video, which is this one down in here somewhere. There we go. Yeah, that's the one we were playing earlier. Sorry, I've lost my little thing. Where's my thing? That's really annoying when I don't have this up. There we go. We want vlog. And go show, and it's got today's stuff on here. There it is. So you've actually got the tornado review up with you now. As I said, it's quite a long one, as you've seen before. Then obviously for everybody else, you've got part 6 of the MRAP. She's going to talk about obviously working on the dashboard, putting that in, and then a lot of the photo etch and bendy stuff at the back end. So I've shown a video on that one. And then next week we're going to be getting going on the top of inside of the cab unit, and all the armored doors and the glass and all stuff like that will be going in as we make them in. So yes. Sorry, guys, Peter, you need 2 days without us. We need to do things like work, as funny as it sounds. I'm going to be doing bloody reviews, aren't I? Building all weekend. So
Talk
yes.
to the wife.
Yes, I will speak to the other half. Better do that as well. Right. Okay then, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Hold on. Where's my thing? Hold on. I've got to make sure. That's it. It's that one. That's the one we want. We will see you on Monday afternoon, as always. Thank you very much for joining us. Love to like and subscribe and all the rest of it. Don't forget to do that. I don't know if it makes any difference, but it might do. You never know. So anyway, we will see you very, very soon. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
We will see you
Bye.
soon. And here's your work from the gallery.
I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. Through a ghost town, alone and stranded. Why leave me hoping and guessing for the answer?